Hello fellow crafty souls, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for sticking around and having a look at my new video. It's been a red hot minute since I put a new video out. The 2024 ended on a bit of a chaotic note for me, so I thought start fresh in 2025, and I'm actually going to be using some products from the 2024 Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. So I love these crafty advent calendars. I bought my first one in 2023 and I had to get the one for 2024. I love all the different little bits and pieces that you get in, and just check out that packaging. How spectacular is that packaging? I could just sit there and stare at the days all day basically. But I wanted to dive right in and use the crafty goodness, so going in for day one to have a look and see what's going on. And it's really well packaged. You've got your little door which has the picture display of what you'll actually be getting in your first day, which is a little hot air balloon, and it's the sweetest little thing. And the picture only shows it at about 40% of its actual size. So, the noisy galahs are going past, sorry about that. And all packaged up, all the dies come in these little packages, all well sealed up and everything. So just going to start by pulling everything out and having a look at all the bits and pieces that come in these little die packets. So you've got individual details for the balloon, you've got some bunting that goes across the balloon, there's a banner with the word hello on there, and then you've got your basket, and just the detail for all of these dies is just beautiful. There's a flag that goes on top, and you can actually cut out the individual flag with the bunting. You've got a couple of dies, a little die there that cuts out a couple of little flags for the bunting. For the balloon, you've got the, I don't know, it looks like a crescent moon, and the oval that actually cuts out the detail for the balloon. So I'm going to be using a cover plate die that looks a bit like clouds to set the scene for my hot air balloon. So I've gone through and picked out just some random scraps of cardstock, and going to be using my Gina K Intracut die cutting machine to cut out all the various bits and pieces. So I love the size of the cutting plates with the cutting mat with the Intracut. I have the opportunity to lay all the bits and pieces out at one time and cut it all at once. So for me, I enjoy doing die cutting, but I've got a bit of a tear in my shoulder, so it actually makes it uncomfortable doing a bit of the cranking for too long. So I like that I can do all the bits and pieces and cut it all out. Look at all that beautiful detail that gets cut out with the Spellbinders dies, and aren't they an amazing colour, the gold Spellbinders dies? They're one of the few companies I know that actually does a different coloured die set, and you can definitely tell when you're using your Spellbinders dies because of that gold colour. So I've gone through and cut all the bits and pieces out. Look at that cute little banner saying hello. So just getting all the little bits for the bunting flags cut out for another bit, passed through the die cutting machine. And I've done some contrasting colours for the balloon itself. So the main balloon is actually patterned paper, and then I've done a contrast plain cardstock to piece over the top of it just for a bit of extra decoration. So gone through and done the multiple passes just to get all the bunting bits done, and just using my pokey tool to get out the little triangular flag bits, all really small, which I have a wonderful tendency to lose. I don't know about anybody else, but the craft goblins get in and that's it. You lose all the little bits and pieces. So I've got all my little bits and pieces laid out there, and I will get stuck in and start playing and getting all the bits and pieces stuck together. So yeah, doing the die cutting actually gives me a bit of an opportunity to think a little less and just craft a little on automatic, which is nice. Some days I still want to have a bit of crafting time for myself, but I don't always want to put full thought into it. Sometimes it's nice to just pick something out, cut it into pieces, and then go into automatic mode to glue all the bits and pieces together. So I'm using my Studio Cardia pickup tool to pick up the little bunting flags so I can lay those out. And those little flags actually match the contrast on the balloon itself. So just going through and using the wax tip to pick up all the different bits and pieces, while making sure that the cardstock is actually, once it's been cut out, that it's the right way up. So just that nice little bit of a fiddle to get it all straightened out. And then working on the gold bit to actually place the balloon on. So I'm using my Misty or My Sweet Petunia glue press gun, and it is probably it's in the top 5 of my favorite tools that I actually have on my crafty desk at the moment, just for the ease of use and its presence. And I'm finding as I'm getting older, which we are all doing, that the glue press is actually easier for me to use for my hands. So I love and it's got the fine tip on it, so I can, as you can see, I'm dealing with some very small little pieces here, like for the flag and everything, and it's just perfect. It just drops in a little drop of glue, and then that allows me to then glue all my bits together. So I was tossing up whether to glue it from the front or behind, and decided to go from the front, just for decorative artistic license, if you like. So that's the balloon put together, and it's very quick. So now just going through, and I'm going to die cut out that cloud cover plate die. I could not tell you which brand it was. It was purchased many years ago. So, and I've found that with this particular die, I do need to run it through quite a few times because of the intricacy, to ensure that all the bits get cut through. So with that, I did the pass through a couple of times, one direction, and then flipped the whole sandwich over and ran it through again in the other direction as well. So as you can see, beautiful. I love it. It's such a fun die, and looks like clouds. So I'm going to go in and actually colour the clouds in blue. So this is a Lisa Horton Crafts interference ink, the Cloud 9s. And I've just glued all my rounded sponge daubers onto some cardstock and labelled them with the Velcro that I use specifically for these interference dies, interference ink. These inks are fantastic. They're shimmery. And you'll see with the lid colour, it looks blue on one side and pink on the other. So if you're using white cardstock, it will show up as blue. And if you were to do it on dark cardstock, it would actually show up as pink. So you're trying to see a bit of the shine there and shimmer. And I didn't really make any sort of effort to do any sort of perfect blending or anything like that. It was more just getting the dye sponge. Sorry, you'll have to bear with me just a moment. I'm having one of those brain oddity moments today. The blending foam, rounded blending foam, I just basically pressed into the ink and then just kind of gave it a quick swirl and press over. When I was having a look at the balloon on top of the clouds, I found that the balloon was actually getting lost within that pattern and the clouds, so I just am cutting a plain white circle to actually mount the balloon on so that it does stand out on the card. So this card's actually a really simple design. I don't make enough hello cards, I don't think, and I found this was just a really nice foray one day when I had lost my crafty mojo and I wanted to just do a bit of crafting and not make it too overly involved. So that's the completed card. I always make sure I do my little signature on the back of that one. And that is the completed product. I just want to say thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.